And we continue at 1:06 in the afternoon on the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wang's in Texas.
John, as you're aware, if it's a
Tuesday
or a
Wednesday
or a Friday, it's an LA City Council meeting. And if it's an LA City Council meeting, chances are that it's time for a little karaoke.
Good morning, Speaker. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
All right. Start with item number one. 心跳乱了节奏，梦也不自由。爱是个绝对承诺，不说。
I love that song.
He really is committed to that bit.
Item number two， 别等到1000年以后，所有人都遗忘了我。
I never hear anyone do that song anymore. That one's a classic.
They play it on K-Earth, I think.
Item number three， 别等到1000年以后，所有人都遗忘了我。
He went for 4 minutes doing this.
He's got a voice like a bird. Might be a buzzard,
Over
but it's
the
still a
past-
bird.
All right, let's hear his general public comment.
Over the past several days, I have witnessed that rioters are throwing their object towards our LAPD officers. I have seen the illegal taking over the street. I have seen that officer giving them order 10 times, telling them to disperse, telling them to leave the town, and then they refuse to comply with the order. And then somehow our mayor, our LAPD chief, our council member call those people peaceful protesters. And somehow that everybody are entitled to throwing rock, to throwing weapons towards the LAPD patrol car. And our attorney are saying, we support your peaceful protest. I really wish that our city attorney, our city council, our mayor go down the protest themselves. I want to see that without LAPD protection, how many minutes can you survive on the street?
Whoa!
Okay, I just kept waiting for him to tie it into the hookers on Figueroa, and he never got there.
For once, he played it straight.
It's like Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
He had a legitimate public comment.
I wonder if Mr. Smith ever did karaoke on the floor of the Senate.
當我笑着捱
800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. Yesterday, we did a story, the 2 o'clock hour, about tourism falling off a cliff for Las Vegas. And oh boy, did we get an avalanche of response to that topic. People are upset with how the casinos are running shop right now. People who used to go to Las Vegas for a very long period of time, and now people have found other outlets where they can get their gambling fix in, whether it be the state lottery, Indian casinos, cruise ships, or on your phone. People are still gambling. They're just not gambling in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, of course, is acutely aware of all of this, and Randy, they're now trying to lure people back.
They're starting with a few new promotions, and you know this stinks of desperation. The strip hotels are trying to figure out new deals for the locals to go.
Got to get the people from Henderson.
The locals don't go to the strip. They know where the better hotels are to go.
Well, it's like if you live in Los Angeles, you avoid Hollywood Boulevard like the plague. It's Lucy and Ethel that went John Wayne's footprints, but if you live here, you never go to that part of town.
For more, here is KNTV in Las Vegas.
So locals know a night out on the Las Vegas Strip can cost a pretty penny. And inflation and concerns over the economy right now certainly isn't helping things.
You know, when you go to the Strip, you're going to be spending a lot.
Right.
Dinner, not under
Now it's
$200.
a lot.
A lot, exactly. You got to save up for your weekend out. Well, in an effort to attract more...
I think if you go to South Las Vegas, there's still $7 steak.
Really? Did it run at Santa Anita the night before?
Well, in an effort to attract more business from Southern Nevadans and visitors coming to town, some resorts are offering incentives. Even the LBCVA is working to get the word out on some of those deals.
What happened to $30 hotel rooms? That's it. No fees.
No, going to Las Vegas is now just as expensive as going to Boston or New York.
I find it way more expensive. 5 years ago, before COVID, I was here.
People visiting Las Vegas have noticed the prices.
Inflation really hit bad, so I'm not sure what's going on.
So the days of the $1.99 breakfast, $7.99 steaks, that's all gone.
In this economy, folks like Randy Lutke from Wisconsin are still trying to get the best deals where they can.
So I see a lot of minimums at the tables are $25, $20.
What is that about?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Las Vegas is not what it used to be. They're trying to rebrand themselves as a high-end location.
Not everyone is such a degenerate gambler that they're going to throw $25 on every hand of blackjack. Present company excluded.
It hits a little close to home there, Randy.
So I'm going to probably do most of my gambling downtown.
Inflation hit us all, and as economic uncertainties linger, more people are thinking twice before taking those vacations. In recent months, visitation has taken a dip in Las Vegas. So far this year, it is down about 6.5%, according to the LBCVA. Despite that decline, convention attendance is up nearly 2%. Gaming revenue.
So what? The convention attendees aren't gambling?
So here's why this is important, and I have different numbers than they do. I have tourism being down by 8%, and I have convention attendance up by 10%. So this is why that 8% number is actually worse than it is. If you're going to Las Vegas because your work is sending you there for a vacation, you're not choosing Las Vegas as a vacation destination. You're going there because that's where the convention is. And you're working, so you're probably not gambling the way someone on vacation would. So the number of people, if it's overall down 8%, but convention attendance is up 10%, the number of people who are choosing to go to Las Vegas for vacation is down by numbers that are higher than 8%.
Gaming revenue on the Strip is slightly down, but downtown, where it tends to be cheaper, it is slightly up. Now,
people are going back to those quarter slots that are at Fremont Street at the D Hotel.
Well, and some of those buildings downtown are neat now. Circa is a wonderful hotel.
Now, some resorts are announcing deals. The Plaza recently announced an all-inclusive package with food and drinks included, starting at $125 a person. And Resorts World announcing...
What do you think the limit is on how high quality the spirits are for that?
Sounds like we have to go find out.
Do you get Tito's, or is it going to be Taka vodka?
Well, if you go to the real off-the-strip hotels, the vodka is all named after some Eastern European war criminal.
And Resorts World announcing free parking all summer long. Other resorts have deals that can be found...
I love how that is now a promotion. Hey, come to our hotel and you won't have to pay for parking.
It's so insulting. You go in there and you spend your grandkids' inheritance gambling, and then they still charge you for parking? That's just adding insult to injury.
And Resorts World announcing free parking all summer long. Other resorts have deals that can be found online.
Well, you know, all of our resort partners have locals programs.
Channel 13 caught up with Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority CEO Steve Hill, who says they have announced the Locals Unlocked campaign that will help locals find out about the deals and help the resorts spread the word.
What we're doing.
The locals don't want to go there. They work there.
Yeah, they do this sometimes at the amusement parks. When Magic Mountain gets too violent for the tourists, they try to get all of us to go.
What we're doing is just aggregating that so that that message can get out a little better, market it out into the city a little more so that people know that they have that opportunity.
On the Locals Unlocked webpage, you will find different offerings for locals, including staycations. People say they miss when Vegas was affordable, like years ago.
I got to imagine if you live in Vegas and you're spending the summer in Vegas, you don't want to vacation in Vegas.
No. In fact, I told that story yesterday of that friend of mine that worked at the grocery store that quit his job because the homeless kept destroying the bathrooms and they tried to make him clean it every time. He decided to do a staycation, and I'm not kidding or exaggerating one iota. He decided to do it on the Strip the night of the Las Vegas shooting.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Look, he says... Look, he says, he knows deals are out there, but you have to look.
So they're working with people to get them here. I will say
I
that.
think they could work a little harder.
Yeah, no kidding.
I will say that. They're trying. I can't tell you that they're getting the word out enough that there's these options available.
It's going to take a massive campaign to get the word out that Las Vegas wants to be affordable again.
They are going to have to get rid of the parking fees because of everyone in California, or most of us in California, drive. We don't fly because if you fly, it takes you just as long as it would if you drove out there. So that is a fee that really hurts the California population because we are close enough to drive, and they're going to have to get rid of those resort fees. Those resort fees are totally outrageous, and I don't know how some ambulance-chasing attorney hasn't filed a class action lawsuit against them saying that that is illegal and collusion, because they're all doing it.
And if you want to check out those deals on the LVCVA's website, we do have the link to it up on our website at kgnb.com.
Everybody is looking for a good deal these days.
I'm always looking for a deal. When Resorts World announced the free parking, I mean, now you have a place to
and
just
at
don't worry
Virgin.
about it.
Locals know where we can get the free parking. That's
Exactly.
for sure.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
It makes
It's really a big deal.
I'm telling you, if Las Vegas wants people to come back, they're going to have to go back to the basics. They're not about celebrity chefs. They're not about fountains doing shows every 15 minutes. It's not about shooting Russians out of cannons in the Cirque shows. The basics of Las Vegas have not changed since that city was founded. It's all about whoring, alcoholism, and compulsive gambling. And anything they do that strays away from that, people are going to fight it. You don't go to Las Vegas for culture. You go to Las Vegas because you want to do everything in excess. Everything. That's where buffets became famous. And now they're getting rid of the buffets, too. And the ones that still have them, they're charging $100. And those celebrity restaurants are totally ridiculous. I love Scarpetta, and that's, I think, at the Cosmopolitan. And they do have great spaghetti, but their spaghetti's like $40 a bowl. I wouldn't pay $40 for spaghetti if it was made by Chef Boyardee himself. But everything is expensive in Las Vegas. You get a hamburger, and that'll set you back $30. That's why when I go there, I primarily eat off the strip. You go off the strip, it gets normal again. But you go 2 blocks off the strip, and it's Victorville. But I don't care because I'm not paying those prices on the strip. You don't go to Las Vegas to spend like you're in New York or London or Paris or all of those big cities. And it's a Las Vegas problem, too. It's not a gaming problem. People are gambling. People are gambling more than they used to. In fact, listen to this. It's kind of hard to track these numbers down because it's so spread out. Because if you're in Asia, you don't go to Las Vegas anymore. You go to Macau. Or I think there's 3 or 4 other gaming areas in Asia that are bigger than Las Vegas, whose names we don't even know. But you have casinos in places like Louisiana. You have them in really a lot of different states now. It used to be just Las Vegas and Atlantic City, and now there's casinos all over the place. But you also have state lotteries. You also have the Indian casinos. The cruise ships are huge. Those cruise ships are just floating casinos with a pool. And occasionally Clay Aiken singing Copacabana. But you go on those ships, and sometimes there's 500, 600, 700 rooms comped for casino players. There are more whales on the boat than in the ocean. Gambling has never been more popular. Listen to this. According to Sportsbook Review, which is apparently an entire publication dedicated to betting on sports, so all of you chronic gamblers out there know what I'm talking about. They said that in 2024, there was $150 billion that was bet in legal sports books. And I say legal because I don't know what you people are doing offshore in the Caymans. but $150 billion in bets at legal sports books. In 2023, it was 121. In 2022, it was 93. In 2021, it was 57. Every year that goes by, the sports betting becomes more popular. People are gambling. They're just not gambling in Las Vegas. They have to fix things. And if they don't fix things, it's going to be like the movie theaters or the department stores. You're just going to see certain casinos that are boarded up and no one's there because people can do it elsewhere. You don't have to go to the movies anymore to see whatever flick is debuting. You can see it at home on your television, drinking your booze, eating your food, and you're not captive to paying the prices at the movie theater that they charge you. It used to be you had no choice. If you want to see the new Batman movie or Indiana Jones or whatever, you had to go there and you had to pay for their $45 Dr. Pepper and their $18 Juji Fruits and everything else that they charge. It's totally outrageous. You had no choice. You were a captive audience. But now you have choices. And what happened? A lot of people just stopped going to the movie theater. And that's what's going on right now in Las Vegas. If they want people to go back, they have to stop abusing their customers. And they particularly have to stop abusing their customers in California. Because when you charge for parking, you know who you're taxing. You know who you're going after. No one is driving from China. Those people, they're not paying it. No one's driving from Boston. It's people from Arizona, other parts of Nevada, and primarily California. So if they want us back, that's got to go. And the resort fee too, because that's ridiculous. So yesterday we took calls from you at 800-222-5222 on why you stopped going to Las Vegas. And I want to throw it back open to the phones again because we got emails all night. The email just blew up. So I want to give you an opportunity to make your case. Why did you stop going to Las Vegas? The numbers say tourism has fallen off a cliff. Why did you stop going? 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222, 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. Heather McDonald coming up after the news at 2. Right now, we're taking your calls on this story coming out of Las Vegas, where tourism is now down 8%. And that number is really misleading because convention traffic is up 10%, which means tourism is down probably in the 12 or 13% range. So my question to you at 800-222-5222 is this. Why did you stop going to Las Vegas? Because the numbers say that many of you have. All right, let's begin with Patty in Yorba Linda. Patty, hello.
Hey, John. Nice to talk with you. So we used to go to the Mandalay Bay, Venetian, et cetera, and yes, it got ridiculously expensive. So we now go to the downtown Grand, which is about a block or two off of the end of the Strip. And also, they do not charge resort fees. And in my opinion, the rooms are super nice. We're only in there to sleep and, whatever. Otherwise, we go like a block over is the Queens Motel or hotel area. I want to say 3 or 5. It's all, you just go there. There's a promenade there. They've got bands. They've got shopping. It's almost like going to Santa Monica Boulevard back in the day. And again, they do not charge resort fees. And the restaurants are good. And we sit at the bar and we play. I'm a big blackjack and poker player, but we sit at the slot machines. And no, it's not costing me $25 a hand to play these games. Obviously, poker is always more expensive anyway, but blackjack, it's like, are you kidding me? We used to look for the $2 and $5 tables. So, anyway,
well, And what you just described, I think, is the way to do it, because Laughlin in particular, they have these off-the-strip bars where you go over there and the drinks are great. The people are friendlier than they are on the main drag, and you can just go ahead and play as long as you want for smaller bets.
And when you're playing, they don't charge you for the alcohol.
That's true.
But also, no, they've got some great, again, and I will make this short. They have good restaurants. I mean, like really good restaurants. And to me, it's more of an intimate part of Vegas. It's not glitzy. It's not, and like we're going there in August to see Kathleen Madigan. You know, we go there. We've seen Nate Bargatze. We'll go to those hotels to see the comedians, but then go back to our cheaper, nice hotel. So anyway, just wanted to drop that into your little pat there.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. And in Nevada, you could pretty much gamble anywhere. You can gamble at the car washing place. You can gamble at the grocery store. You can gamble at the 7-Eleven. The 7-Elevens have slot machines in them. Although
gamble at the airport.
If I ever end up sitting in front of a slot machine for hours at a 7-Eleven, I need to go to a meeting.
I'm really fast. One quick story, and then cut me off. Years ago, one of my brothers who has the Golden Touch, they were driving to Vegas, and they stopped at a diner, like at the, what do you call it, the border of California and Vegas. And,
Prim.
Yes, and there was a Keno machine at this diner. He won $1,200 just sitting there ordering eggs. And I was like, God, Bob. Anyway.
All right.
So anyway,
thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Let's go to David in Cyprus. David, hello.
Hey, John. Hi, Randy. Just my 2 cents. My wife and I gamble quite a bit. We started out in Vegas many years ago, but I took my gambling to the next level of hoping for a return and making some money gambling. And the Indian casinos by far outweigh the paybacks at the Vegas casinos, even uptown and downtown. And there is a difference. And I have so many W-2s from Buffalo's on $5 bets and less. I take the same amount of money to the desert casinos, meaning Las Vegas and Laughlin. It doesn't go as far. And I've even been shown the payback percentages of the machines at one of the casinos there on the I-10. I go to every single one on the I-10 out there by you. And each state has a lowest payback allowed limit for each machine. And there's a difference. There's just a big difference on what you're going to spend and what you're going to get in return and then all the gas and wear and tear in your car to get to Vegas. So the Indian casinos for us have been productive. And why drive 5 hours instead of 1 to do the same thing, other than the free drinks and the 99-cent hot dogs that used to be at Circus that I miss. And Randy would love those.
Yes, I would.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm not familiar with the payback percentages at the Indian casinos in California, but I was reading about the payback percentages within the state of Nevada. And Laughlin has looser slots than Las Vegas. And if you want to get the best odds, it's an Elko up in the northern part of the state. Elko has the best payback.
Who did this? Who did this research?
I don't remember where I read it, but I was in Las Vegas and I was reading one of their local papers, and they talked about the payback percentage, and they said that Laughlin paid better than Vegas, but the best in the state was Elko.
But there's a difference, as you probably know. If you walk into Rancho Mirage or Big or Little Morongo on a busy night, there's attendants running around with hand pays, and you're waiting 20 minutes, sometimes a half hour to get paid, and that's a good sign to me when you see that. We were at Vegas 2 years ago and swore to never go back. People were walking on the strip and walking over bodies of homeless people sleeping everywhere, digging out of the trash, taking drinks, and it just turned us off. So Other than Laughlin once a year, we stick to the Indian casinos locally, and I just know there's a difference, and we just get a little something back for our money instead of losing everything.
I'll tell you, the cruise ship casinos are packed too. If you want to walk through one of those cruise ship casinos at night, you need a stick of butter. But the caller's right. This is what Las Vegas never anticipated. Competition. It's just easy for people to get their gambling fix at the Indian casinos, the cruise ships, on your smartphones, or from the latest COVID shot. We could gamble anywhere we want. And it didn't used to be that way. And the competition has not been good for Las Vegas, so it's time for them to up their game. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. Right now we're taking your calls at 800-222-5222. 1-800-222-5222. Tourism to Sin City is down by 8%. I want to know why you stopped going. Let's go to Richard in Los Angeles. Richard, hello.
How you doing, John? Great show. I think it's the parking fees and then the extra fees. It just makes people discouraged because that is a magical town. I mean, it's nothing like Vegas. And besides that, it's already paid for. You could be out of Vegas and it's a whole nother city. So the gambling is really not before used to run the city. So they could do some perks and bring that 8% in a heartbeat if they wanted to. I know that.
Or how about going back to the old days when the rooms were cheap, the food was cheap, the shows were cheap, and it was all geared to get you in the door to go gamble. And that's where they made their money because you mint money. It's a license to mint money if you have a gambling license. And they knew that. But then they got greedy and they said, okay, well, let's make money in the coffee shop. Let's make money in the showroom. Let's make money in the hotel. And they get you 15 ways from Sunday, and then it went from being a very cheap vacation and fun vacation where, hey, you might end up winning something to something that costs you a fortune.
That's correct, because basically, Vegas is really a show town. If they're not offering your perks, your drinks, free drinks, all kinds of things, what is Vegas for, So you're right. They really tighten the pocketbooks for the regular consumer to try to spend more when it's unnecessary, where they have the perks to make money anyway. Because in economics, the more people you get, the more money you make. So it's just logic. I think they'll figure it out.
How about this? Carrot Top and the Blue Man Group, they had their chance. Now it's time to bring back the Goodfellas and the Made guys.
Well, Wayne Newton, he's still alive, right?
Oh, yeah. He's still with us.
There you go.
All right. Danke Shane.
Nice.
Let's go to Ralph in Whittier. Ralph, hello.
Hi. I listened to you, I think, yesterday. We were talking about the fees in the hotels in Vegas. Just so happens I'm going this weekend for a granddaughter's softball tournament. We decided to stay in Henderson to save money because in Henderson, they're not charging the parking fee. And I used to go to Baker to Vegas every year, and what you were talking about, how the deals on buffets and everything else back in the 80s and 90s, you're right, they were very good, and they drew you into the hotels. Now I frequent the Indian casinos, and I think the only thing that the Indian casinos are lacking that are going to cause Vegas a serious problem is if Indian casinos are allowed to start using dice on the craps tables instead of the cards, and use the ball on the roulette table instead of the cards. I don't know if you're aware of that, but I think that would make a huge change for the Indian casinos in California if they applied Vegas rules on the craps and the roulette tables. I don't know if you're a gambler or not, what you think about that.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing that they want is sports betting, because you can't do that right now in the Indian casinos, but you can in Las Vegas.
Yep, and I think talking to a lot of people that go there, I mean, a lot of people would rather do the 1.5 hour drive to the Indian casinos from the LA area, or then there's the free buses, especially for the seniors. But a lot of these people they'd never see Vegas again if you allowed dice on the tables and did away with the cards at the roulette wheel.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because whenever there's any tweak at all to the rules regarding Indian gaming, Las Vegas comes in and spends a ton on the ballot initiatives.
Yep.
And they always take
Yep.
the opposite position of the Indian casinos. And you know what? The Indian casinos do the same thing to Las Vegas. If there is a bill that's going through Congress that would expand the 15 freeway, the Indian casinos fight it tooth and nail.
I think the last compact deal that was changed, if I'm not mistaken, was during Schwarzenegger. So it's been, I think, that long since there was a significant change.
Well, good luck at the softball tournament this weekend. A question: your granddaughter is playing in this softball tournament?
Yeah, it's her last.
Are you still there? Okay.
Yeah.
How many transgenders does she have on her team?
None.
Well, they need to get a couple if they expect to win this tournament. So you got a couple of days. You need to go find at least two or three.
I don't think those parents from that particular club are gonna work real well with that. I think they'd rather lose.
Well, I don't know. You get a fastball that's real high up there on the gun, and
No, those kids. I don't know if you got daughters or anybody that even know play softball. They're for real. They don't play.
all right. Well, good luck in the tournament, and thanks so much for calling. 800-222-5222 is the phone number. Let's go to David in Las Cruces, New Mexico. David, hello. David, are you
David's
there?
listening to the radio.
I think so.
How about
Well, I
Tim
love
in
the
San
sound
Francisco?
of my own voice.
Tim in San Francisco. Hello. Nope, he left.
All right. How about this? They mentioned the Indian compacts, the Indian gaming deal that was negotiated that allowed the Indians to have legalized gambling in California. That was Pete Wilson who did that. And if you're wondering just exactly how they did that, it's an interesting story. So at that time, the Indians were the poorest people in the state of California, where the poverty rate was through the roof, education levels were awful, diseases, life expectancy, whatever. They had a lot of problems. And so the idea behind allowing them to have legalized gambling was, okay, if they can make some money, then the poverty will go away. In the state of California, we have a large number of tribes. I forget exactly how many, but it's in the hundreds. And the only tribes that would be able to make money off of the casinos are tribes that are near the freeways. If you're a tribe in rural California and there's no easy way to get there, you can have all the legalized gaming you want. No one's going to show up. So what Pete Wilson did, who was the governor at the time, to make sure that the money was spread among the tribes, and it wasn't just that the ones that had property near the freeways were the ones that made out and everyone else remained impoverished, was he gave all of the tribes a certain number of stickers. And each sticker represented a table game or a slot machine or whatever. And he told them, here's the deal. You can sell them amongst yourselves. You can lease them amongst yourselves. You can use them. You can do whatever you want. But every tribe gets the same amount. And so that way, if the ones by the freeways have the large casinos, they have to pay off the other tribes that don't have freeway access. And what that did was it basically took the tribes from being the poorest people in the state of California, and it's made them wealthy beyond belief. And now what's going on is if you have some of these smaller tribes where there are fewer people to share the spoils with, you really make out, and they're trying to kick people out of these tribes right and left. If you have tribal membership and you want to go get a membership card in a tribe, you better hire an attorney because they don't want you to join because then they have to share the spoils with you. And they don't want any part of that. It's produced these internal tribal politics, the success of Indian gaming, that are just wild.